Welcome to another Unwinding with Fiber and Fabric. I have finished spinning my combed fin sheep. Oh my goodness, I have to say, I certainly understand now why the e-spinner is such a wonderful tool in the spinner's arsenal of tools. This has been so wonderful to spin. I'm finally starting to get understanding of how the e-spinner works. It's just like with my wheels, there is a relationship that we have been developing. Back in February, when I first got the e-spinner, I did spin up a couple. It's CVM, colored CVM. It's some remnant fleeces that I've had. I had a wonderful time spinning it. It is fluffy. I am pretty sure I was spinning it right from the picked lock. There's a little bit of a thick and thin. It's my standard, I think, I'm looking to see. I don't think I haven't actually measured the gauge. It's a 3-ply, a chain ply, and it's probably fingering weight based on just looking at it. I will bring it up close. You can see how the CVM has all the different colors in it. It's a wonderful fiber. So I was trying to spin up, this one here was some of the mosaic, which I think I actually showed in my last video, a last little bit of that, or not my last video, one of my recent videos on what was I going to spin. I do have a little bit more of the mosaic left. It is a lovely fiber. And as you can see, it's not a consistent brown. It has a lot of different variations of brown and even some white in it. CVM, variegated. It's California variegated mutation, and so you can see it has the variety of the color. Probably shouldn't be pushing this in and out at the camera, maybe making people a little dizzy. This is also some CVM. This was just some of the taupe, and I think it may have a little bit of this left. I can't remember. It's now been so long. And this one here ended up having 5.5 ounces in one big braid, and you can see there's a small one there, that there's another just over an ounce. I was learning how much would fit on my large Ashford e-spinner 3 bobbins. And this one, it is a much finer spin. This is I thought for sure had actually measured, yes, I have measured wraps per inch on one of them, and it's coming out to be 20 wraps per inch. So this is a 2-ply. Set that one down. It is a 2-ply. It is done worsted. It's combed. I haven't wrapped this into a twist just yet. It's still just a little bit damp, but this is a 2-ply. I had 2 very, very full bobbins and 1 less than full bobbin when I got done plying these, and these 2 big ones have almost 8 ounces each. 8 ounces each. Oh my goodness, that's the largest hank of fiber I have spun. It is let's see, this one here, it is 7.7 ounces, which is about 218 grams, 580 yards. I think I may have gotten the labels on the wrong ones. This one has been washed. This one has been washed more recently, and it's still drying. either way, a lot. So I suspect this will also, this is 7.8. This will probably also have close to 580 yards, give or take. I haven't weighed and counted how much this is. This was, as I said, the last, using up the last that didn't fit on the first two bobbins. I will say that if I wanted really fat bobbins, if I wanted to spin it on really thick, I could have probably got the full 8 ounces on these. But again, I'm new to the e-spinner and new to these bobbins, and I really did not want to have yarn barf going everywhere because I overfilled the bobbins and had it shoot over the top. So I wanted to share this with you because it's done. I will get some counts. I will update on my Ravelry account. This is the combed fin sheep as opposed to the carded. I haven't started spinning that yet. I am very close. But before I start spinning that, I wanted to get my next e-spinner, because I think what I'll do is with the carded fin sheep, I'm going to probably spin it on my my wheel up here, probably my Symphony. I want to, I'll probably, because it's only about, I think it's only about 8 ounces, so the equivalent of one of these. And I think I want to try to spin it on my wheel, because even though I did fluffier fiber, fluffier spin back in February, I was getting accustomed to the e-spinner, and I wanted to try a woolen, a real woolen. So I could use the fin sheep, which is combed, which is carded, my carded waist, but that is a waist from the combing. It's all the shorter bits. And I want to try a true woolly woolen. So what have I done? I have taken my purple braid and I have taken a white braid, undyed braid, and I have carded them. And I am so glad I did this. So I'll have a picture. Let me just show you a picture really quickly. I was so tickled. When I started carding the undyed fiber, because it hasn't been dyed, it's straight off the mill, carding, putting it into its roving. In this case, it really resembles a merino top, not carded real roving. I am so glad I took just did this slowly and took a look at it. I couldn't believe it. I had no idea that this merino had such long staple length. Let me grab that. That is a lovely staple length. That is a wonderful fiber, and it is so fluffy. It is so light, it is so beautiful, and I was like, oh. And part of the reason why I wanted to do this is a friend of mine, one of the followers here on my YouTube channel, mentioned how she loves spinning the merino because it's, as she put it, a boring spin. It doesn't require a whole lot for her of thinking or processing. And I can completely get behind a boring spin. For me, a lot of times that's what the CVM does, especially if I'm just spinning it from the lock. I don't have to think, I'm just spinning, I'm happy. But taking the discussion that we had to heart, I decided to take a second look, not at spinning it, but a second look at this fiber that I have, that I purchased in a large, like 10-pound bump. The same fiber that I've dyed up whenever I'm using exhaust. And I decided to give it another little look. And one of the big things I noticed is because I've dyed this, now it's still got the long staple length, it's still a fluffy roll log, nice and open. But because I haven't messed with this other than to run it through my hand cards, it's so airy, it's so light, it's so wispy. Because I've dyed this, and rinsed it, it's not quite got the same silky feel this. And it may be just the finish that's on this because of the going through the mill to keep the static down. I don't know, but it feels a little bit different under the fingers. Pretty sure it's both from the same purchase. And that's the other thing, is that even though I bought this big 10-pound bump of merino, you can get variations because the mill is putting many fleece together to create this. Just like if I have a fleece that I don't sit and separate out the really fine parts from the less fine parts, just like the colors here, leaving it all mixed together into one uniform texture rather than separating, or in this case, sort of uniform color rather than separating it in bits. This is blends of many fleece. And okay, I just have to tell you, this reminds me a bit of the Angora. It is lovely. So because I wanted to take a look again, rethink how I see merino, rethink how I see these braids. I have spun a bunch of this stuff in a number of different ways, but one thing I haven't 100% done is this process right here. Now, I have done it a little bit in my red, white, and blue, and I did like the results, I have to admit. But this time, what I'm doing is I have taken 4 ounces of my purple exhaust fiber, and that's what it looks like when it's blended, when the white streaks and the purple streaks get blended together lightly. I have taken it and I have bagged up 4 sections of my fiber that I've carded. I started with 4 ounces of undyed, 4 ounces of lightly dyed purple. I have now separated into 4 little baggies, and I even broke out new baggies as opposed to searching. I have not unearthed every single one of my recycle bags, bread bags, etc. from the past. I pulled out new baggies, biodegradable ones. We're shifting as much as possible. And I've separated it into 4 sections because I am going to spin 4 2-ounce sections to make a 4-ply. Now, with that being said, and I hadn't really thought about this, if I did a 4-ply with it, that would be fabulous. I want to use my e-spinner, and I just realized I only have 4 bobbins. So either I have to really quickly go and find another bobbin, or what I may do, and this is probably what I'll do, is I will spin this fiber on my e-spinner to see how it feels. And then I'll probably ply it on one of my wheels, because I definitely have the bobbins there. That's probably what I'm going to do. Otherwise, I'll have to go through and resort all of this and divide it by 3 and separate it into thirds, which I could do, especially if I move over to grams rather than ounces, because that's easier math. But then I would only have a 3-ply. And what I really want to do is I want to try to do a 4-ply. And I would love to do this on my symphony. I would love to sit up here and do this, but I have done something like this in the past. Maybe not with the merino, but with other fibers. And I actually really want to see how the e-spinner works with a woolly spin. To see how using a long draw on the e-spinner, how it feels, and to see if I can get a little bit more consistent spinning than I did with these early tests. I had fairly decent spinning with this as far as consistency. I over the extent of all of this, I only had 3 areas that were kind of drafting apart a little bit, and that was not due to anything other than it was I had it was technical error, not on the wheels part and not necessarily on the drafting part. It had to do with other outside influences that happened at different points. So pretty consistent, and I'm pretty pleased with it. It is, it's proving that I can do Scotch tension and get a fairly fine spin on the e-spinner. Something that I really prefer to do with the double drive on my Symphony if I want to go thin. So now I'm going to try to go fluffy thick or thicker. But thus the reason I'm separating it into 4 spins, 4 bobbins, is for the very purpose of trying to have merino spun fine but fluffy and have a fluffy yarn. There's the goal. And it's only taken me 16 minutes to get to that point. So I hope that this has been an interesting, I just wanted to update everybody. That's all this is. It's been a little bit harder. There's been some things going on in the background that have sapped some of my energy. I'm definitely low energy right now. I've had some things in my personal life that that has disrupted Tour de Fleece for me just a little bit. And there are things in the public life that threaten to disrupt Tour de Fleece for me as well. And that kind of makes, well, it makes me sad. The things going on in my personal life, that's just life. It progresses and sad things happen. And in time, we all have to go through sad periods when things aren't something we can control. And in my case, this is outside of my control, and it's not with my immediate family. And so the sadness is still there, but we do our best to move on, and we do our best to support others as they go through difficult times. The public stuff, that's a little harder, especially when we are spending so much of our energy and time volunteering our time, our talent, our message, our desire to help others unwind. I am all for open discussion. I am all for good debate. But I also am always saddened when the things that we do to take a moment to step back, the things that we do to give ourselves a breathing space, get inundated with the things that cause stress. Playing with fluffy yarn. It is one of the ways I try to unwind. It does not mean I am not paying attention. It does not mean I have not looked into, researched, stayed on top of, and evaluated the changes in our world, in our lives, in our society. It means I'm taking a few minutes to unwind from it all so that I can recharge my battery and get back out there. We all need time and space to unwind. That is something my e-spinner helps me remember. Time does not stop for any of us. And our youth can speed on by in what feels like a blink of the eye. And the crusades that we once were able to go on, we may not have as much energy for today. That doesn't mean we don't care. It doesn't mean we're not paying attention. And it doesn't mean that it is our job to make sure everyone else agrees with us. What it does mean is that time teaches us the importance of unwinding. It teaches us that if we do not take care of ourselves and our world around us, that we may get left behind. We may slow down. We may become isolated. But we cannot take care of the world if we don't take care of ourselves. And I am not here to judge how someone else is going to unwind. And I am not going to look down upon somebody else in their efforts. I hope that you can unwind with some fiber, some fabric, some artistic endeavors. I hope that you do so as informed as you can be. And I hope that you make wise choices for yourself and for the world. And know that while I may not always agree with everything, I do try to support an honest effort. We all have our own timelines. We all have our own struggles, and we all have our own reason for doing what we do. And as long as it's not hurting anyone else, and as long as we are trying to do our best, then we deserve some time to unwind. All right, I hope that you have been with me on this journey. I know there are a few of you that will have watched to the very end. And to you, I say thank you. For you that may be new here, if you have liked what you've seen, please hit like. I am only about 40 people away from hitting the 1,000 followers. Not that I expect any or all of you to watch everyone or even most of my videos. It is so close and yet still so very far away. But I'll have you know, I appreciate every single one of you that have taken the time for a little time or a long time to follow me on my unwinding journey. It gives me the spoons, the energy, the will to keep sharing my journey with you. Until the next video, happy spinning and happy unwinding with some fiber and fabric.